Hey everyone, it's Melinda with TAILOREDANTEAL. I am a part-time online reseller on Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, and Facebook Marketplace. And today we're going over what sold on those platforms from May 16th through May 31st of 2022. As you can see, we are in a new location in my reselling room. I used to be actually flipped the other way, so me facing this wall, and I always had my clothing rack behind me as kind of a buffer for sound, but I got really bored of that, so we're gonna try this out. Also, check out this beautiful velvet vintage painting. I love cactuses. I think they're a really cool plant. I love the Southwest style kind of thing, and I just love the colors in this one. So I actually scored it off of Mercari, and it's gonna be in the background for a couple of my videos, I think. So jumping right into it, I will be going over every single sale. I used to highlight the highs and lows, but I'll just be transparent with you and go over all of my sales. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't think there is any ugly actually this time, which is good. All right, so on Facebook Marketplace, I had two sales. The first one was a cobalt blue open flower votive candle holder, or it could have been a bobby pin holder, a Q-tip holder, basically anything you wanted it to be. There was no branding, no marks, no signatures or anything, but it was decently heavy. It had a nice significant weight to it. I picked this up at a yard sale just right down the road from my house for $1, and it sold for my full asking price of $22. And then the second sale on Facebook Marketplace is a Jax, and that's Jakks, plug and play Pirates of the Caribbean game or video game. So you plug the cords into the side of the TV, like the three little auxiliary cords, and then you can actually play the game through the TV. Graphics aren't the greatest because it's from early 2000s, but I did sell another one that was Spider-Man. That one sold for $8 and this one sold for $10. So of my two sales, I had $32 in sales, $2.50 in fees, giving me a profit of $29.50. And I forgot to mention that that plug and play game was free to me. Next, moving on to Mercari, where I had 5 sales. That hasn't happened in a really long time, so I was feeling the rhythm on there. So the first sale on Mercari was a new in-box Coleman camping oven. So this was a portable aluminum oven that actually kind of folded down on itself. It was really cool and compact. I picked this up at a garage sale for $4. They had never used it. It was still in the original box, and this sold for $42 on Mercari. I think the customer ended up paying $13 in shipping because it was over 7 pounds, but it did go via UPS, so the rates are a little bit lower for that on this platform. Next is another item that I picked up from the same day of yard sailing, not at the same yard sale, but at a different one. It was a Zeus, so Z-U-S, connected car system. I'm honestly not really sure still what this is for. I mean, obviously it's for your car and your phone to be connected. It did come with a magnetic phone mount, and I believe that this was sold at like Costco or BJ's or one of those a few years ago. I picked it up for $5 and it sold for $19. Next was a Chico's black tank top. It was full of lace and sequins, very glittery, perfect like for New Year's or for a glitzy gala or something like that. This came out of my ThredUp bulk 50-pound box earlier this year, and it sold for $15. Then we have an item that I purchased from Poshmark's wholesale market, which I do not recommend. Well, that's not true. I haven't been on there in a very long time, but when I purchased this, I paid quite a penny for the items that I got. Thankfully, this one I only paid $6.66, but other items that I paid over $11, and they just did not sell for what they should have or really what I wanted them to. So lesson learned. Just be really careful if you're shopping on Poshmark's wholesale market. Do your research. That's my advice. This was a boutique brand, and it was a high-low black skirt. It was actually a very dramatic high-low hem, super short in the front, very long and flowy in the back. It sold for $20. And then the last item was a bundle, which is hard to do on Mercari, and I will explain after I tell you what it is. So it was a pair of owl dangle earrings. These came out of my Amazon jewelry lot that I unboxed a few months ago. And the second item in the bundle was a peacock enamel ring holder or jewelry holder or catch-all, whatever you wanted it to be. So originally the customer had purchased these two items separately. I didn't realize that it was the same customer until she asked me in a message if I could send both of the items together. And I said, unfortunately, because Mercari has different tracking numbers for each sale, I wasn't able to do that because then it wouldn't show that it was delivered, that it was mailed, etc. So I said, what I can do is I can cancel the orders, put the item in a bundle for you, and then you could purchase those two together, same price, but you will save on shipping. And she said, that sounds great, perfect. So I told her that I would create the bundle, cancel the two orders, and let her know when the bundle was listed. Well, I didn't realize that once you cancel an order, you can't message that person. So both orders that I had canceled, I couldn't contact her at all. I tried looking for her on Instagram. I tried seeing if she had a store so that I could comment on one of her items. Nope. So a couple of hours went by and I got a message saying that someone had purchased my bundle. She did message me and she thankfully found the listing and purchased it. And I said, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you because I couldn't message you. And I really think that that's something that Mercari can work on. I know that a few platforms are adding that direct messaging thing, like Poshmark just did recently. Whatnot started to do it. Even eBay upgraded their messaging systems. So hopefully Mercari can get a messaging system just in general, not specifically on one item, if that makes sense. So this bundle sold for $26. So of my 5 Mercari sales, I had $122 in sales, $16.19 in fees, giving me a profit of $105.81. And my average sales price for each item that sold was $24.40, thanks to that Coleman camper. It really upped my ASP on that one. All right, moving on to Poshmark, where I had 13 sales. The first sale is an Ann Taylor Loft teal and black geometric print skirt. It had this really cool pleating detail in the front that was kind of like a triangle opening. Really, really nice condition. I picked this up at my local Salvation Army and it sold for $17. Next was a bundle. It was a pair of Talbot's navy blue signature pants. I think they were in a size 14. And then a new in box or new unopened item. It was a moon smudge kit. So I guess it came with charcoal and little dishes, and you could smoke the charcoal and smudge it. I don't really know how it works, but I've had it for a while, so I'm glad that they sold together, and this bundle sold for $28. Next was a pair of Adriano Goldsmid jeans. These were the club jeans. I believe that they were somewhat of a flare. They were in gently used condition and they sold for $20. Recently, I purchased some jewelry display things to help me make my listings look better, and I started using this gray bust that you see right here. And I think it makes my jewelry look so much better. It shows how it lays on the neck, it shows how long it is, etc. So I think that that had to do with a few of my sales this time, which I will continue to do when I photograph all of my jewelry necklaces. I got a ring holder, I got an earring holder, and then I also got a little pillow for bracelets. So hopefully those other display items will show up in future What Sold videos. So this one was the first item to sell on my new bust. It was a Loft pastel beaded gold tone, very long necklace. It had a lot of mixed media kind of things in it. Beads, gold tone. There was even a leather cord wrapped into it, and it sold for $11. Then we had some vintage art prints to sell. They were from the brand Aspelin Art Galleries, and they were with Victorian lady magazine covers. So magazines back in the day, like Good Housekeeping and things, would have these Victorian ladies on it. Someone purchased these for $16. These were from 1983, and they were actually a mail-in order, so you would see them in magazines, so Good Housekeeping, and you would send your check in and tell them what you wanted, and then they would send you these art prints. They were never used. They were just stored in their original packaging, and hopefully the customer can get some good use out of them. Then we have another item to sell with my jewelry necklace bust. It looks very nice, doesn't it? So it was a Leah Sofia Silvertone round coin necklace. I did use the keyword coin necklace, which technically they didn't have any like printed faces on it or anything like an actual coin, but the shape of them, and the necklace was very jingly when you moved it around. So I did use that term. I don't know if that keyword helped make it sell, but I'm happy that it did, and it sold for $14. Next sale is a Shira Leah wooden beaded wristlet. This thing was super cute, really nice condition, perfect for going out and putting your lipsticks and your phone and whatever else you need to. It had a satin lining and it sold for $8. It has been listed for over 2.5 years, so I did accept a lower offer. Next is another low dollar item that I'm so happy to get rid of because I've had it since January of 2019. That's like almost in the beginning of my reselling career. It was a new without tags 512. That was the brand, number 5, and then the word 12 written out. Paisley metallic crop top. This was a size large, really nice condition. I think it might have been sold at like Lord & Taylor or a department store, something like that when I was doing my research on it. And I sent someone an offer for $8 with discounted shipping and they accepted. Next is a pair of shorts. This was the brand Adriano Goldsmid again, but these were men's shorts. They did have a little bit of wear on the inner thigh area, but I did notate that, and they sold for $19. Next is a pair of new with tags, International Concepts, wide leg paper bag waist pants. These had a few small markings on them. This was a shelf pull item that came in a bulk liquidation box. That's BULQ. So I did notate that in the listing, of course, and they still sold for $18. Next up is a pair of jeans that I bought for myself that didn't fit quite the way I wanted them to. I only paid $1 for them, and they were the brand LL Bean classic fit ankle length jeans, and they sold for $16. The next sale was an item that had a lot of interest on eBay and Poshmark specifically. A lot of likes, a lot of watchers, and I had a ton of lowball offers on eBay. I'm talking like $8 to $10 for this item. So it was a new with tags and Taylor sleep poppy printed satin pajama set. It had a button down sleep top and then a pair of elastic waist shorts. I had these listed at $30, which I didn't think was too bad for a set of Ann Taylor. It wasn't Loft, it wasn't Outlet, it was Ann Taylor, which we know retails for more. So when someone sent me a $20 offer on Poshmark, I accepted because I thought that was much more reasonable than $8 to $10 on eBay. And then the last item to sell for the last 2 weeks of May was a new with tags Nike Golf Tour Performance Women's Red Striped Polo. This I've had listed for about a year and it sold for $18. So of my 13 Poshmark sales, we had $213 in sales, $46.20 in fees. I gave out $8.60 in shipping discounts, giving me a profit of $158.20. And my average sales price for each item that sold was $16.38. All right, moving on to eBay, where I had 14 sales. You'll see a lot of the low dollar amounts where I tried to put them on auction. They didn't sell, so I lowered them down to $5.99. And I sent offers out on that too, just trying to get rid of old inventory and still make a little bit of profit on it. The first item was a Cloud Chaser pink lace-up sweatshirt. This was a super cozy material, and I personally love the lace-up detail here, and it sold for $4.50. Next was another item I've had since April of 2019. I used to buy a lot of reseller boxes on Mercari, and I kind of got burned a couple of times just because the stuff wasn't that great. Lesson learned. So it was an EP Pro pink and gray pixelated sweater. It kind of had like a really big houndstooth print to it. I believe it was a wool blend and it sold for $4.50 as well. Next was an item that came out of a ThredUp fun box. It was a New with Tags Lululemon, the small towel, that's what it was called. It was in the color black, unused, unopened, and it sold for $11.99. Next was a Coldwater Creek large brown slouchy leather bag. This sold for $22.99, and I don't think the customer realized how big it was because when she left me feedback, she said it was more than what she expected. So I'm assuming that meant size-wise. But this purse did have a lot of interest on both eBay and Poshmark, and I'm happy that it went because that was an item that I couldn't fit into my purse inventory. I had to lay it on top because it was just too big to fit. Next is a enamel pink floral and rhinestone clamper bracelet. This came from like a Goodwill lot of jewelry that I purchased. I think I did use the keyword spring, and it sold for $11. Next was a free to me item. It was a Bally New with Tags purple all around comfort wire-free bra. You know, I should have kept this because it was my size and it looked really comfortable, but I like money more. And it sold for $12.75. Next is a Monet branded navy blue and gold tone medallion long necklace. This was in super nice condition. It was vintage. I'm not sure from what decade it was from, but I accepted an offer of $14. Next is an item that I've had since June of 2019, so happy to see it go. It was a Tommy Hilfiger boys red t-shirt, and surprisingly, it sold for its full asking price of $13.99. It wasn't anything special, but it was Tommy Hilfiger branded, and it was in good condition. Next up is a free to me item again. This was a vintage brown, orange, and white chevron stitched yarn blanket with fringe. This thing was interesting, and I think it was really popular like back in the 70s and maybe 80s. I have no idea what company produced it. There were no tags on it or anything, but it was like this mesh material, and then yarn was woven into it. So I think that it was factory made. I don't think that it was handmade. Really cool though, very retro looking, and it sold for $19.99. Next item is an item that is actually getting returned to me because they did not fit. I do accept customer returns, but the customer does have to pay for the shipping, but I believe they have 30 days to return the item. A lot of people wait to the last minute to send it in those 30 days, but thankfully this person sent it right away and it should be arriving any day, and I'll relist it, and I'm sure that it'll sell pretty quickly because it sold quickly to begin with. It was a pair of Levi's 501 light wash button fly jeans. These were a size 26 by 32, and they did sell for $18, and that was an offer that the customer sent to me. There was some staining on the jeans, and that's why I took a lower offer, and I think I only listed them for $24.99 anyway, so that was a completely reasonable offer. And then another reasonable offer on another pair of Levi jeans. These were the rib cage straight white jeans. They were a size 24, so super tiny. There were stains on it that I tried multiple times to stain treat with both OxyClean, Tide laundry rescue spray, and also a bleach stain treatment, and they still were there. So I disclosed it, and someone sent me an offer for $16, and I accepted. Next was a vintage necklace. These were freshwater pearls. It was a super long strand. They were hand knotted in between. This necklace sold for $8. You will notice that a lot of my jewelry will not sell for a ton of money, but that's because most of it is just fashion jewelry. I really don't sell too many like sterling or gold or diamonds or anything like that. But my cost of goods is typically pretty low, like under $1 usually. So I always end up making a profit on it because of my low cost of goods. Next sale was a Gap pink linen ruffle skirt. This was so cute, perfect for summer, loved the color. It was an older style Gap, but it was a size 16, and it sold for $14.50. This next item has already sold once before. and then it got returned to me. It was a pair of Sam Edelman snakeskin print loafers. These were the Lorraine model. A little story about the return. They definitely were not returned to me in the condition that I sent them to the customer. They were definitely worn at least a couple of times, and I could tell that the person was a chef or worked in a food service industry because there was some type of like sticky residue on the bottom, and they smelled like a freezer. You know how like freezer burn has a specific smell to it? Well, this kind of smelled like that. So I just put some charcoal bags that I bought off of Amazon. I put them in there to neutralize the odor, and it seemed to help. And then I relisted them and they sold for $32. The customer asked me if I could do free shipping on this, and I told her, unfortunately, my business model does not allow me to do free shipping. However, I did send her that lower offer of $32 and she accepted. And then we're down to our last two sales. This next sale is such a cute mug. It is a 1978 vintage Le Chat mug. So that stands for cat in French, I think, anyway. It was stamped Japan on the bottom. It was a nice heavy weight, so you know it was a durable coffee cup. If someone used it and it was from the 1970s, they took very good care of it. There was no chips, no flea bites, nothing. And it sold for $20. And I think that was only listed for a couple of weeks. And then the last item to sell is another item that I picked up at a garage sale for $2. It was a Mats Johansson. It's Swedish. So it's Jonassson. It does have the word Sweden on it, so that's why I said it was Swedish. And it was a orange crystal glass bowl. This actually is still listed on their website. Mine was in a different colorway than what's currently on there. Mine was like a light orangey color, and it sold for $25. So of my 14 eBay sales, we had $249.21 in sales. I made a shipping profit of $26.97 because what I charge the customer for shipping versus what I pay is actually a little more, so I do make a profit off of that. I had $96.18 in fees, giving me a profit of $180 even, which was kind of strange. And my average sales price for each item that sold was $17.80. And now moving on to my total numbers, where I had 34 sales total. We had $616.21 in sales, $142.70 in fees. My cost of goods this time was $123.24, giving me a net profit of $350.27. And my cost of goods for each item that sold was $3.62, which is right under $4, and that's exactly where I like to keep it. I have noticed an uptick in sales, especially on eBay. So maybe eBay fixed their glitches, or maybe people are just excited that the weather is warm and they're ready to spend their money, but I'm not complaining. And I hope that the momentum continues, and then I hope that your sales are picking up as well. Thank you as always for tuning into this video. If you are not a subscriber and you like what sold videos and unboxings and tips and tricks, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you here. And if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up before you leave, it would help me know that you like these types of videos. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.